Hi, my name is Bobby Ellis from Soma Yoga Training. Today I'd like to talk about what I call core octopus. One of the reasons why I call it that is because I want you to think about the movement of an octopus, like the way that an octopus moves its 8 limbs. It spirals, it undulates in a varied number of ways. And we're going to be doing some core work using octopi movement in the limbs. One of the reasons why I love doing this is because if you think about the way your muscles are inside your body, every coil of every muscle, every fiber of each muscle is a packed coil. So we're made of spirals. And we don't really think about that. So I've been on a deep exploration for a really long time as a yoga and continuum teacher to vary movements so that the body can have as wide a band of resources as possible. Okay? So I like to use a bolster and a block. Now, if you don't have these props at home, you can use folded blankets, right? Just to get yourself a little bit lifted, to have a little bit of space from the floor and the back of your body, okay? And I'm gonna bring my hips to the bottom of the bolster. So you wanna have your hips and a good part of your spine, depending how tall you are, on the bolster. Now, I'm seeing that I think turning the block on its side is really good for my head, okay? And then I'm just gonna rest into this bolster. One of the reasons why I like to use something, not just the floor, although you can use the floor, is because it gives you a little bit of buoyancy. It gives you, like when I press into the bolster, I'm going to get a varied degree of angles in the back of my body, and that's going to feed its way into the core. I'm going to do my legs first, and then we'll add the arms. And any variation of this, depending how it feels to you, is fine, right? So don't feel like you have to do the whole thing. If your body is starting to give you signals that something isn't right. The wisdom of your body speaks to you through sensation. So this deep way of listening and then making wise choices is a really wonderful way to care for yourself, okay? So anything I give you, you can make it your own. So I'm gonna start with my knees bent. I'm gonna keep one foot on the floor, and I'm gonna bring one leg up. And I want to keep my knee bent because I want to keep everything a little bit softer. And I'm just going to see if I can start to think about the octopus. I'm thinking, I'm considering, how can I move my leg like the arm of an octopus? Now, as I'm starting to vary this movement in my foot, and where my thigh connects to my hip, I'm starting to sense that all of the soft tissue in my core body is starting to wake up to what do we need to do in here in order to do that. And it's not something that I'm thinking I have to engage this muscle, I have to engage that muscle. I'm not thinking that way. I'm in a sensory play with my body, and I'm allowing the wisdom of my body to wake up to what's needed for the movement. That's very different than, let's say, sit-ups or something like that, right? And then when I feel like I'm finished with that movement, you could go on as long as you like. You bring the leg down, and then you just take a little rest. And you allow the soft tissue, the fluid of the interior of yourself to reorganize around what you just did. Like I'm feeling like my diaphragm is much more expressive when I breathe in and when I breathe out, because I've awakened something just from that small little leg play. And then I'm going to do the other side. And just for variation and for our video here, I'm going to take my leg off center. That's going to require something else of my core. Also noticing something is required in this leg now. And I'm still wanting to find that octopus play. You know, all of the little suckers in the arm of the octopus are little brains. So it's a very smart animal. And it's the strongest animal, yet it has no bones. And then when I feel ready, remember you can go on longer if you like, I'm going to bring my leg down. And just give myself some time to notice. One of the things that's really apparent to me is the back of the sacrum has spread out a little bit to accommodate what I'm asking of my legs. And then, only if you like, you can take both legs up and just start this beautiful, non-linear, less organized, sometimes chaotic, and for me, this is a fair amount of fun, octopus movement in the legs. Yeah. And when you really want to go and get deeply intrinsic, slow the movement down. And when you can slow movement down, you start to build intrinsic strength, incremental strength. It's very different than fast movements. And it doesn't require, or for me, it doesn't, I don't feel like it's dissipating my energy. I feel like I'm gaining energy in the slow, intrinsic, felt sense of my movements. And then bringing the legs down. And just relax for a few moments. And in the when you finish a movement, you're going to notice that there's a reverberation of movements going on in lots of different places. And you want to pay attention to that, because that's the living experience of your body, offering you its wisdom. And then we can do the same thing with one arm, the other arm. But for the sake of our video, I'm just going to bring both arms up. So you can do one and the other and then both if you like. You can pause the video and then start it. And my fingers can be little arms. You can get little movements in the wrists, the forearms, the elbow, the shoulder. You could be right over the body. You could take the arm overhead. When I start to take it overhead, I'm starting to engage here in the side line of the body. If I want to and my neck feels good, I can take my head up. And I'm not creating an overdoing experience. I'm right in the range of what's possible for me. And that range keeps changing because I'm giving myself lots of variation. So if I'm only doing one thing over and over again, it gets repetitive and things can wear out a little bit sometimes, right? And then if you want to do the full octopus, wow. And you could stay as long as you like, and then come down and settle. You can do as many rounds as you like in the core octopus. And one of the things that I love about the core octopus is it's a heck of a lot of fun. Thanks for joining me.